We have bursaries. Two of the categories, one is one student who's doing LLB and two MBA students. We want to encourage footballers to acquire better skills and better professional and academic skills to prepare themselves for a life beyond football. And you know that is a challenge in our country. Football, you retire at 35. Retirement age generally is 65. So you have a 30-year period that you must deal with after football. And we've seen the impact of many on the lives of many of our footballers 5 years and 10 years after their last playing day. The office will monitor the applications and the evaluation process. You know that we have an evaluation committee which is headed by Dr. Molefi Oliphant and Professor Khadina Bikau, and representatives from the University of UJ and other tertiary institutions who sit there and evaluate these projects and then forward it on to the board with recommendations for consideration at the level of the board. The regional football entities to set up provincial structures, as you know, again, it's a structural weakness in South African football that we don't have provincial structures. When you talk about rugby and cricket, you know the Blue Bulls and the Stormers and the Sharks, and there's no such structure in South African football.
We are monitoring this Legacy Trust. Federico Adieki, who is the director of the CSR department at FIFA, we have an auditing company. So we are making sure that all is done under the FIFA standard. So that's very clear. And we will not change our position, and Danny knows perfectly. And I would say that we have the best one with us, which is Michael Katz. And Michael will not also, let's say, act with this legacy in a different way, because as we discussed this morning, this Legacy Trust is a very important thing. I mean, has firstly a lot of money and has a real role to play in order to support football in South Africa. So we have to make sure that whenever we are spending not only the interest, but potentially and sooner than later the capital, which is in this Legacy Trust, that all the projects, they are projects on a long-term basis. So we are monitoring permanently what the Legacy Trust is doing. At FIFA, following the last 2 years, we run into a process of more compliance, more transparency, more of everything, to make sure that what has happened is the past, and we have a level of organization which is the best one, or trying to be the best one. This applies to all. I mean, applies to all member associations, applies at the level of the confederations, applies to all projects we are running. We are working with the government and the local organizing committee on the identification of all these projects we have to support. So we are working on building, again, as we did in South Africa, a vehicle. It would be a trust or it would be a foundation. I don't know. That's something the lawyers are working on. We are working to ensure that we identify the projects when it's about women's football, as an example, when it's about giving some mini pitch or pitch in the different communities and in the different favelas, so where football is played but not in the best condition, to make sure that we organize football in a better condition and we give them more structure to play football. So that's the work we will do.